Good evening. Welcome to the Friday Study Circle. And last time we had started with the sunlit part. So before we, take up this passage, the sublimest of adventures, I think maybe if we can just have, be in silence for a minute and be more present here. So I'll take this passage now. The sublimest of adventures, Sunlit Path, page 2. There is a moment when life, such as it is, the human consciousness, such as it is, seems something absolutely impossible to bear. It creates a kind of disgust, repugnance. One says, no, it is not that. It is not that. It can't be that. It can't continue. Well, one comes to this, when one comes to this, there is only to throw in one's all one's effort, all one's strength, all one's life, all one's being into this chance, if you like, or this exceptional opportunity that is given to cross over to the other side. What a relief to set foot on the new path, that which will lead you elsewhere. This is worth the trouble of casting behind much luggage, of getting rid of many things in order to be able to take that leap. That's how I see the problem. In fact, it is the sublimest of adventures, and if one has in him, in the slightest, the true spirit of adventure, it is worth risking all for all. So in passage 1, mother had called us, he said that this is a great, adventure. And I'm calling everybody who's, who wants to be on that adventure. And here, what, I don't know what came to me because I was just dealing with something just before the session. Whenever something happens to us, physical, mental, emotional, there's a whole series of, a cycle that starts, every time maybe a movie that starts, which we feel is very different, but it's mostly, kind of running in the same loop. Something happens, it's like, why me? What have I done? What have I done to deserve this? Why does it happen to me? Like enough has happened to me. And of course, 40, 50, 60 other things. So in that thing, we don't see what is happening. What can I become out of it? how do I handle it? Now, I was listening to Thai the other day, and he said that, okay, say you got a phone call and there's a decision that you have to make in a split second. You have a phone call and it's urgent in nature, and you're like panic. It's like mostly it's like you're so disturbed, and then whatever you do coming from that state of I don't know, disturbance or not being grounded would always be a wrong decision according to him. So he said the first thing that you must do, or maybe the only thing that you must do, is breathe. Take a breath before you reply to that urgent decision, that what can be done, or for anything. I mean, even if it's not urgent, because then you're connected, right? You're connected, and you won't most likely go astray. So again and again, we have seen it, and yet it's a bit difficult to believe again that when bad things come, the seemingly bad things come, they are there to take us beyond, but we end up being right here, or we could even go, backwards in my victim consciousness, that this has happened to me, this has happened to me. I think, we keep forgetting that this body is temporary. This role is temporary. I mean, the conviction of permanence with the role and body, it's enchanting, right? Like itni pitai hoti hai, and yet we don't want to believe that I have a body. I don't, I'm not the body. I have a mind. I'm not the mind. So again, here beautifully, where mother is saying that once you have had enough, and there comes a point in my life when you feel it's enough, then the next step is not backwards. Oh my God, what has happened? It's forward. That where do I now go from here? And you put all, effort is limited, right? I am a limited being right now. My energy, my effort, my mind space, my physical thing is limited. So either I can use that thing to just sit and wonder why this is happening, or I can do something about it. And yeah, that was the initial thought. And Monica's favorite doha, Daurat, Daurat, would also fit in beautifully here. So I'll mute now.
क्यों दोहा तो बोल दो पूरा, इतनी क्या जल्दी है म्यूट करने की?
I thought you will do the honors. I sometimes. So it's आप ही बोलो, but seriously, I keep forgetting in between. But I remember the essence,
No,
so
but
that's what.
maybe you remember it. Say.
Okay. दौड़त दौड़ दौड़त दौड़त दौड़िया, जहां लगी मन की दौड़, दौड़ भय मन स्थिर भया, तो वस्तु थौर की थौर. I have not said some words right, but yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
दौड़ थके. So दौड़
दौड़
भय.
थके.
Yeah, that's it. And all right, 99% marks. Yeah.
दौड़ थके. Yeah.
I think Tenzing Parma also again and again reiterates that what's the fun of your spiritual path when things are all hunky dory according to you? Then you are happy. The moment something happens which is not according to you, then you are so sad, disappointed, as you were sharing, why did this happen to me? While the same thing can become a raw material for progress. That's our task as a human being, to change darkness to light, to change suffering to bliss. That is our task, to again transmute ignorance to light. And we have the capacity. Mother says that nothing can be given to you for which you don't have the capacity. So whatever comes to us, it's, if we can, and this is the sunlit path, actually this is the spirit of the sunlit path, that whatever comes, I take it joyfully. This has been sent to me for some reason. Okay, let us explore that reason. So like a curious explorer, curious adventurer, there is always light. So it may be pain actually, one may be going through suffering, but one knows a deep feeling is there that it is there for a reason. It is wanting to tell me something. Some lessons are to be learned which can't be learned in a hunky dory state at this moment. And this is the sunlit path, that you have that light of consciousness which says I'm ready. I'm ready to cross my thresholds, comfort zones. I'm ready to go through pain, ready to go through broken things in life. All is there for a reason. Yeah. And this is how slowly our faith also becomes unshakable. And mother says that if there is faith, either it is unshakable or it's not faith at all. So it's like binary function, 0 or 1. So when we at times say that my faith is growing, although you know in my evolution I can say that okay, my faith is growing, but actually if the faith is doubtful, mother says it's no faith, 0. She says the very quality of faith, just like quality of water is fluidity, so quality of faith is unshakability. Wow, how amazing is that? So either it is there, or if it's doubt, then it's no faith, 0 or 1, no shades of gray. And it's the same for surrender also. We think that surrender, I am growing in my surrender, because but if we look at just one moment in time, in one moment in time, either there is faith or no faith, and in one moment in time either there is surrender or there is ego. So it's again binary, very clear cut picture.
So that means most of the times we are in between only. No, not 100%. If it is not 100%, there is no 50%. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is why I say that my faith is growing in degrees, because if you just take like tick 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 one moments at one time, so in you would see that out of maybe 10 moments, in one moment earlier you would be completely in faith and surrender. Now you see that maybe in 5 moments you are in complete faith and surrender, but again you see that in other 5 moments ego is operating. So how I say this in word, in languages, my faith is growing. But what I was sharing is that in one little moment of time, either ego is in front or the true self is in front. There is no shade in between in one moment in time.
Okay. So beautiful point, to examine ourselves.
Yes.
How many times we behave this way and how many times we truly surrender.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. The problem is, most of the times after behaving rudely, egocentric, then only we realize, oh, why did I talk like this?
Yeah, and even although, considering our evolution, that is a very good step, because earlier I would behave rudely and not reflect.
Yes.
When I am reflecting, it is actually a surrendered state, because ego would not care to reflect. It says, I am this and I don't want to change. So if we are reflecting, it means a separation, disidentification from ego is happening in that moment.
Okay.
Witness, जैसे कहते हैं ना, साक्षी भाव और witnessing,
Yeah.
which is again a stage in our, that's how we grow. But I was talking of just one moment at a time, that there is either 0, there is 1.
Yeah, I understood. Yeah. Thanks.
Please
Sorry
go
for
on.
interrupting.
No, please go on. You were sharing something.
No, it gives a good encouragement, So if we keep thinking, if we keep reflecting on ourselves, definitely it will give a motivation to us. So we are not 100%. So we are still in 1% only. So definitely we have to improve our faith. Yeah, improve our surrender also. Yeah. Thank you.
So it's like, you just shared, you use this sentence, I have to improve my surrender. So this I can say in a context of like a large frame. When I look at 100 moments and out of them I see maybe 5 moments surrendered, and now I have to grow, like those 100 moments should now be surrendered. So this is how in a larger picture I can say that my faith has to improve, my surrender has to improve. But if we have become even, slowly we become more conscious on the journey, so each moment can't go unconsciously. That's how we grow. है ना? तो अगर एक भी thought आती है which is full of ill will, I see that, oh, it's there. So in that one moment I have a choice whether to follow the dictate or to purify, step back, and operate from goodwill. And that's why mother says that become conscious of each ripple of your being, एक thought, एक feeling. And that's what creates poison slowly and gives rise to all kinds of diseases. So the more conscious we become, we have chance that more moments of unconsciousness and ego will be taken care of, will be seen. Yeah. And this is what Kabir ji means when he says, Jagrat rehna re nagar mein chor avega. So he says, keep vigilance, be alert, on guard. And chor is all these poisonous thoughts, disturbing thoughts, full of ill will about others, me, my story. These are the robbers who rob us of our peace and sanity. So he says, be on guard. And when we are not on guard, he says, Mirga ne khet ujada. That deer of senses came and all my peace was looted away, because I was unconscious. I didn't check the thought coming. So this is our possibility. This is how vigilant we can become slowly.
One thing, like where I am, my default is not being surrendered. And surrender is a conscious effort. Like somewhere, I think a lot of times one feels misguided, because if one has touched that space for a few moments, one starts assuming that now, because not lot of times, sometimes people say, but I've already surrendered. As if it was a business transaction or a contract that has to be signed, and now ab main jo marzi karu, right? But so I think this is very important, that whenever I'm not consciously surrendering right now, that means I'm not surrendered. Whenever I am, we use big words, and we think that they are something beyond. Like, say, you used in the beginning side that it's our job to move from darkness to light, for example, right? From suffering to bliss. It feels कि कोई बहुत बड़ी बात हो रही है, right? But every movement, when I am choosing that, no, I don't want to go, okay, why? I want to go that, what do I do? That is me choosing big, right? That is it. इसके अलावा कोई अभी, fireworks नहीं होने हैं, because we have this perception that it's something beyond me. But it's really important to know that this is it. This is it. This is your, this is our Kurukshetra, for example. In every moment that I'm choosing to surrender or in faith or choosing light within me, with these small decisions, these small thoughts, this thought is coming. I don't want this thought. Let me say chant or whatever. So every time, I think this is really important. These small moments are what makes me everything, like everything.
What you just said, that if, for example, in one moment there was a state of surrender, some grace flowed and things happened, this is what we have to become conscious of. That in the next moment, ego rises up, the limited mind rises up, it looks back at the moment and it says, oh, I did that. So the I comes in the picture.
Yeah.
And this is how we create images. Now in that moment when the image is being created, if I become conscious, oh, the image is being created, this is happening, this is happening, then we can become conscious of it and let it pass, like not give any importance to it. And if we forget awareness and lose ourselves in thoughts, we give in to the dictates of the picture, and not even in our knowledge, we don't even know. Before we know, we begin to believe that yes, it was I who did that, because we didn't see that thought entering, that, oh, you did that, how beautiful. So, or in the other sense, like you are shameful or, guilt, whatever. When the center is me, and it is arising and creating a story, and if I can become just conscious of it. And when you said, choosing darkness, choosing light over darkness. So when I am choosing the light of awareness over the thought, I am choosing light in one sense. So the moment I look at a thought which is arising, forming a story in my head, I just have to just take the stance of knowing myself as awareness and not the story that is being created. And this is what Mother means in prayers and meditations, for example, when she says, I want to identify with thee and disidentify from the surface consciousness. So we are becoming conscious of the thought, choosing to step back from the thought, and knowing ourselves as the presence of awareness, consciousness, rather than as the storyline that is being portrayed. And you are absolutely right. Well, ye chote chote, these are the little moments of our yoga, nothing, no fireworks. Very, very important to realize. Yes. Because we keep on,
Like,
unknowingly, we keep on waiting for some big
yeah.
moment to arrive. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
And I was saying, like, you said like a sentence that, we should give away the ill will we have, right? Somewhere, you get a voice that says, I don't ill will for others. है ना, because मैं बैठ के जैसे movies में ऐसे I'm not plotting things or commenting things, but every time I'm saying that my way is better. Okay, let them do, but I know this. I know is ill will for others, right? Because whenever I'm saying I know, I'm saying that the other doesn't know. Like I am a little bit, maybe. So again, these things is what one needs to purify oneself of that. Yeah, Jasmine, please unmute and share.
No, I was saying, I'm always believe it's in those little moments that the change happens when you're present. Like, say, we do these sessions and all that, but then you get, obviously, this all knowledge. When you take it to that moment where you said it, those little moments that we make the choice, that the change happens. And I don't know how to put it. Um, how you said, like, it's not in the bigger moment that we wait for koi bada decision aa jayega, but it's very simple in your daily life, in your very mundane things. When you're present to yourself, that you make, I don't know, it's more of a choice, not outside so much, but inner, that the growth happens. Maybe I'll make more sense to Monica or you guys. But that's what I feel like. To me, it's that pause that you feel. It's that pause or the silence that you feel. And honestly, sometimes it's the chaos going around, but it's the silence that you feel the shift within you. For example, to me, it's my son, right? It's just so much chaos. Within his all that chaos daily, this thing, I have these moments of silence. And what were we talking about? So we have to go down.
Good one.
Yeah, this is my moment of chaos. I'm having this more pause while I'm trying to run downtown to Indian consulate. But so what I mean is the shift that how you were saying, कि वो little moments may you need to make that pause and make that shift, make that choice. So it's not so much कि मैंने कुछ बड़ा करना है या outer करना है, that deeper conscious that you connect with. And I find I don't know, I'm finding it very beautiful, like a pause and a silence, a stillness within that. And the funny thing is, I touch it more when I'm on the run. I mean, maybe it's something else, but when it means it doesn't stop me. It's just once you touch that stillness, you bring it on to your daily life. And the more you practice, it feels very freeing. कि जैसे outer तुम्हें control नहीं करता, but inner के something you've touched. But it's in those how Monica said, you step back. when you step back and you see you're given those choices in those little moments to go the higher conscious or lower conscious, or you can say whatever way. Ki, I find that is helping me more than just my personal path right now, personal where I am, or maybe like I don't have a choice, say, to sit or focus or do, take a separate time out, but that has really helped. So I started valuing those little moments. Just say how Monica says, whatever life brings you, use it as a raw material to do that. So instead of getting frustrated कि मेरे को मेरा time नहीं मिल रहा, मेरे को मेरा time नहीं मिल रहा, I started using those little moments. So that's what I meant by those little moments. Um, I find uh, like it can help you towards your growth, and somehow I think maybe that's how it's supposed to be. That's where I'm supposed to be right now. Mm.
Yeah. I think we, just like they say, truth is not a formula. So for each person, mother also says, for each person, it's a unique unfolding, and that's why there is no formula in integral yoga, if you say.
Yeah, and that's why how you said, कि image set कर लेते हैं.
Hmm.
I know वो image. So I think that's what I was getting at. कि वो image set कर लेती कि ऐसे 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 होगा.
Yeah.
मतलब it should be certain way. But
Hmm.
maybe for right now, for me, this is how it is. This is where I'm supposed to be.
Hmm.
So that's where what you mentioned about image, your mindset kar leta hai.
Hmm.
Because you had that nice moment of sitting down meditation, and it's almost like my mind started craving that.
Hmm.
और उस frustration में जो opportunity सामने भी हैं, I mean,
वो
doesn't
भी मिस
matter
हो
how,
जाती है. Yeah.
वो भी miss हो जाती है.
True,
So
true,
you
very
sort
true.
of yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to get.
I think so, it really makes sense. I was sharing with Taru that I was talking to a person, and again, person associated with Mother Shri Aurobindo for a long time, and it's amazing to see that uh, Mother also says warns about the spiritual ego. So it's amazing to see that. मतलब वहाँ पे भी हम अपनी अपनी हिसाब से कंफर्ट जोन्स, अपनी बाउंड्रीज क्रिएट करके बैठे हुए हैं, and we feel that maybe something superior is happening to me. For example, I can't get up without reading these lines or that lines by Sri Aurobindo. I mean, it feels elitist, but again, it is a trap. Now, what if you don't have the book? What if you don't have the access to music? तब क्या करेंगे? मतलब we'll get agitated. Oh my God, where is the music? So the idea is to realize that we do get grasping and clinging to anything that comes our way, whether it's spiritual thing or a non-spiritual so-called thing. Or the thing is, then we make ourselves a little superior, that now I see I don't go to movies, I don't feel the inclination anymore. So we say it in a like a superior sense, but we don't realize that this is nothing but our own limitation that we are creating. And Mother started for example, a movie club in the ashram, especially to make these boundaries, break these boundaries, that anything works if you are surrendered or working on the path. So it's beautiful to realize that we set our own limitations, even if it's a meditation time that we have become addicted to. The idea is addiction, this grasping and clinging. Or it doesn't matter. When it is there, I utilize it. When the moments are not there, I utilize other moments, How simple and easy. Again, living light. I'm not advertising ourselves. Yeah.
One thing again to be mindful of is that it's not being said that don't have a discipline, right? Don't have an aspiration, don't have choices or wants, but it's like you said, we limit, we say that if not this, then we fall, right? So it's very good to have, okay, this is my meditation hour or this is my thing. That's not being said कि अरे just free boat में fly करो. But what did I just even say? Free boat
Yeah.
में fly
No,
करो.
it makes sense
Yeah,
completely. Just
yeah,
reiterating
yeah,
what you said,
yeah.
that make a discipline, whatever works for you. Don't get sticky to the discipline.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah. And somehow this feeling कि this is superior, है ना?
yeah.
This period. If I am doing this and the other has gone to watch a movie,
Ah,
that thing that comes, when we were discussing initially, I think I saw this for the first time. I mean, I've heard it a lot of times, this spiritual ego. Like, if I have moments in which I feel, I believe I am surrendered, then the mind, when it looks back, which you shared, right? कि, oh, I was there. And now it feels कि अब तो मैं मेरा वही ऊपर हो गया, level ही ऊपर हो गया, because I was able to touch that space. कि otherwise it doesn't have to be कि okay, I'm like a saint sitting on fire, that वो image चाहिए. ये मेरी छोटी छोटी उससे भी मतलब, and that's why mother says it's so important to be watchful, right? And our spiritual ego is the worst kind of ego, because it comes in the cloak of spirituality, which has the thread of sacredness, and higher, somewhere higher than the regular thing, which one has to be mindful of. Yeah.
and I think that is why the use or utilization of pain and suffering, because it grounds us. So I 1 year ago I may be in all my gerua vastra and all that in my mind, but then I'm pulled down, pulled down either by a disease, either by a trauma, doesn't matter what it is, and then it tells me, oh, I am just like other people. you know so now I see where I am. So I think it's very, very good that it comes to us, so that the moment we get up in the air, it grounds us, roots us, because we need that at this moment. Yeah, we need that.
So, anybody else, please kindly unmute, share anything that's coming to you on this. And today we'll also take the next one. They are small only, so that we can finish. I mean, not that I stop talking. So just even in this one, I think this about keeping the baggages, that is worth the trouble of casting behind much luggage of getting rid of many things. As in, for me to step forward, I have to leave, I have to lift the feet which is behind me. It's as simple as that. But lot of times we get sticky to that, right? That where I have been, it has made me who I am. How can I leave that? I mean, a relationship, a location, anything. And yet, to move forward, you have to take a step forward. So you have to leave. And I just love this. I did not notice it before this time when we read it. It is worth risking all for all. Usually when we, say this sentence, we say it's worth risking all for this. Okay, this is it. But now she's saying this all for all, because what you're getting is all.
Yeah, in fact, I also got glued to this one just you shared. And this luggage thing, as Kabir ji says, मन तू समझ के लाद लदनिया, पीना हो तो इहाँ पी ले, आगे देश निपनिया. So he says, oh dear mind, where we are lost all the time. Oh dear mind, please be wary of your baggage, this luggage that we were talking of. It keeps on forming images and perceptions and opinions and my story, the past, what will future bring, all these are going on in the head. So man tu samajh ke laad ladaniya, pina ho to iha pile. So usually we always are talking about this sense of lack within. There is a thirst which we want to satisfy, and we want to satisfy it through our stories, our images, our relationships, money, power, whatever comes our way. So getting sticky to that. So he says that if you want to get rid of this thirst that you have, pina ho to, because talking about water, if you want to satisfy this thirst, then right now is the moment. So left, right, no baggage, right now, being fully, again we come back to this very simple truth. breathing in the here and now, whatever is there, making the best possible utilization of that. So पीना हो तो यहाँ पी ले, आगे देश निपनिया. So usually हमें लगता है कि अभी तो नहीं मिल रहा, I'm not getting it right now, but I will wait and my thirst will get quenched in the future. And that future never comes, never comes. So if we have gotten convinced that that future will never come, then right now I can fully be there. The mind in the body, its home, and making the best use of this life. And you know, Alokda also talks about this risking, because he says that divine is waiting for us. Like, you give me the old baggage and you take from me a new package. That's what he says, like an exchange offer. So give me your old rotten mind and take a fresh simple mind, you know, and a simple unfolding of life from me. But we are so used, again habituated to living in our own old stories, old dogmas, opinions, my way of living. We are so used to it just because of a habit, familiarity, that we don't want to risk it. So here it is said that it is worth risking all that we have. Doesn't matter how important that was, how precious that was, maybe a few years ago. It doesn't matter. For, as you said, rightly, all. So all that is to unfold, that is to come yet. How beautiful.
It's already around 7:40. So if in case we first want to share what we have, because we decided we'll take one passage. So if I maybe we can Captain Sadaji, Jasmine, Snehi, any thing you've got to share, in the circle, we can take that. And if there's time, we'll take up the next passage. So kindly unmute and share anything that you would wish to. Yes, Captain.
All for all, remembering the Shanti part in Upanishad. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnas Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Bhavasishyate. Means that is full and this is also full. So full, from the full, we can take the full. And after taking the full remains. So there we have to replace everything. Like Monica ji was saying that the luggage exchange of is all for all. So this all the moment that all word came, so I was remembering this in the Shanti part. So initially it comes to the mind that how can I be? So like subtraction, when you have learned, if you are taking something away, then it becomes subtracted. But here it says that you take out full, and after that also full remains. Something like that, all for all. So the total exchange, 100% exchange, all for all. Thank you.
So, Captain, did you also have anything to share in the circle, like any sharing from your end, any passage?
No, in fact, this is a good system. Like if you are having a reference, then the lot of different thought comes. Then probably sharing by everyone, this is quite interesting. The earlier we were following something, so I think this is better than the earlier practice. What individually we are planning to reflect. So this is good. Here, what Mother says, and actually each and every word or every sentence is so meaningful the lot of thought comes, a lot of thought comes in a different way. Like like I was remembering about the school, there was a prayer, Tamoso Majitin Tamaya, in the school day, but we never understood the meaning of it. We
Captain,
were thinking,
I'm sorry to interrupt. There's something seems to be wrong with your mic or something. Like there's a lot of, I don't know, bass or something. So it's difficult to understand your words very clearly. So if you could either speak a bit slow, I don't know, slower से फर्क पड़ेगा कि नहीं, but louder and slower, that would be helpful.
is it clear now? Is it clear? No.
It's
Actually,
still the same.
yeah, it's like vibrating too much. In other words, maybe too much of like vibration around your voice, so it's not very sharp. Sharp nahi hai, clear nahi hai.
Actually, I got a headphone, so this I have to fill it in because once we put that headphone, we are not in a position to adjust. So I put that earphone on instead of
So you are using earphone right now?
earphone. Yes,
Okay, शायद इसी
I'm
if
using this earphone.
what if you bring the mic a little closer to your mouth? Try doing that.
Okay, is it audible
Yeah,
now?
Now,
yeah,
now
now
it's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
So uh, what I was talking about this process is good. Like it is easy. Like for me, we read that books, and from there the whatever we thought
keep
process
it
comes to our mind.
even closer. Keep it even
Yes.
closer. Yeah.
So this is one thing. This process is good for I think for everyone. It must be. So I was narrating one story like in the school. There are some of the schools. There is a prayer in the morning where before the school starts. Tamosom Ajatir Gama. But we have never understood the meaning as we are understanding nowadays. So we thought that must be there is some darkness, and from the darkness the light has to come. So at that time, this limited understanding was there that without education, everything is we are in the dark, and if we read that or if we are taught, then it becomes light. That may be. But now we see the darkness is everything. There is a whether understanding the spiritual life or what. So we understand that Tamashoma Jatil Tama, and the Jyoti has got so much of meaning, so much of vast meaning. The everyone like yesterday I was reading where Ramakrishna Paramahansa says that once to know Brahma, the moment once you have known Brahman, so that means he will not be there. In 21 days, the person will die. Means his life will be over. That it's like a light. Yeah, hardly anybody can survive after that because to teach the other people or giving the ideas about the spiritual life. So only few people survive and avatar and all this. Otherwise, so similarly is that light has a huge glow which cannot be explained. Neither it can be explained. So only those who have realized. So that is the realization. He was telling a story that there were four friends, and they were on there was a fencing, actually wall, thick wall. So they were curious about what is there the other side of the wall. So they were climbing one by one. So one was standing on the wall, and he saw something and he jumped. So he could not give any message what was there behind the wall. Then second person and third person also followed the same way. They have gone, but not told us anything. So the fourth person, so he could jump and he could come back because probably he has to give us that information that what is there on the other side. So similarly, like we are with the. So I was thinking, and that we are with so much of luggage. So once we see what is there on the other side, what we see in the other side, whether only this baggage will continue. The mother says that we are so dissatisfied with this and as if life is going to an end. So every time we are tied down with so many things. But that other side, what is there? So only that realization takes place only for few. Maybe Bhagavad Gita says that millions and millions they try, and out of that, maybe one person may succeed in getting that. Similarly, the other side, uh, this what is there, so we do not know unless we practice and we strive hard, work hard towards that. So it's a lifelong process. It's a lifelong process. Yes, we can improve our performance on daily basis, or we can measure, but the process is very long, and it has to be done by me only. There's nothing else. Nobody can help me in this. Guru or the guidance, that may be temporary effect, that to switch on the system. But after that, the path, the sunlit path, I have to walk. I have to cover up. There is nobody to look behind to help me. Thank you.
There is a Kabir's song I remembered when you were sharing, which is Ekla mat chhod jo banjara re, दूरा देश का है मामला खोटा हो प्यारा रे. So he says that grace, since you said it's a long and arduous journey, and we have to walk ourselves, so grace is there. We are not alone. So he says that don't leave me alone. He's talking to his Sadguru, talking to grace, and he says that don't leave me alone. It's a long path, it's a long journey. We realize that. And if you are here even one moment, I know that you can be there the next moment also for me. So he said, don't leave me alone. And I think it's also a way for us to remind ourselves that we can ask. Because we feel that we are alone and there is nobody, we are all by ourselves, but that's not true. We are held in the hands of the divine if only we ask. Since there is free will, the divine doesn't call, would come just uninvited, so he waits patiently. And when we ask, he's like, boss kya kaam tha types, standing next, lurking around the corner. But when we are not asking, then he's playing, we say leela, hide and seek, because we are not asking, we don't want him right now, so he's happy hiding. But when we want, we all have experiences. Whenever we have aspired deeply, we have got some or the other kind of help in whatever way possible. Either a book, a word, some reflection, some person, something comes our way which helps us if we ask. So yes, we are not alone and the journey is long. Yeah. Thank you for your sharing.
Thank you, Captain. I don't know, this even saying this sentence, the journey is long. It feels that we are again categorizing, it feels that there are some places where just silence is enough. Like, I don't know is enough because again, I'm putting images and stuff. So, although I know what other context it was said in, not saying that. Yeah. So the journey is enough.
But what Manikaji says that if we take one step, God is waiting actually. He will be happy to receive us. The Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that if we take one step, God will take 10 steps towards me. So this is there. We have to believe in that. And this long and arduous in the sense that all those thought process which is disturbing me, taking away thieves or robbers, as Manikaji was saying. So that is that we are getting again and again we have been attacked. So that's why we think at times that yes, the path is very long, because the ego which is set in the mind. So we cannot just get rid of. So today I have decided that okay, I will leave all these baggages I don't want. Now I will get it replaced or exchanged by the new one. So I decided very firmly, and then again the thieves or robbers they come and mind goes somewhere else. So if we try to say meditate for say 5 minutes, they will say, well, I'll not. The no thought process will come across my mind and all, and I'll try to concentrate. It see that mind goes, my mind goes out. So that means thieves and robbers are presented. That is why it says that long and arduous journey is required. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Like one person went to Ramakrishna Paramahansa then and he was very seriously he was asking that how to realize God. So then the storyline is that he took him to the riverside and so both of them they went into the water and he put the person down and he was the chap was trying to come out because he was not in position to breathe and when after some time he released and he came out and he was telling what Ramakrishna asked him the question, what was, how are you feeling? You were thinking about the world, about your wife, your son, and your life, or something. He says, no. What was the thought at the time when you are trying to come out? Because I was pressing you hard. He says, I was only grasping for the breathe. Actually, I wanted to breathe. That's all. There's no other thought. He says that if you have to realize God, your thought process also to be the same. Other than that, no one, there's nobody can disturb. No other ill will or anything of this nature should come. Good will or ill will or whatever. Nothing will come. It is only that much of sincerity is required, and then only you can realize God.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all are given these glimpses where we are just maybe gasping for relief from pain. For example, we have physical pain and there is so much intensity in the physical pain that all that I want is just relief. And it's not that the relief is not granted to us, sooner or later it comes, but I lose that glimpse. I forget because the outer world becomes so overwhelming again. I get so enchanted in the world कि यहाँ से कुछ मिलेगा कि that I forget, oh my God, 5 minutes ago I just wanted peace and now I have peace. So, and still I want another thing, still I want another thing. So I think we, as Mother says, that we are all given these glimpses and we just have to kind of remember that if I can have that once, I can have stability in that glimpse. It's not just a glimpse for once, it can become my life. If only, as you were sharing, if only that's the thing that I only want. This inner gatheredness, ingathered consciousness, you know, equanimity, good heart, open heart. If that's what I want, I have it 24/7. But that's not it for us. We want something else. In the next moment, I want money. Next moment, maybe power. Maybe in the next moment, I want to prove myself right in front of another person. So again, getting enchanted again and again, and not giving up hope. Yeah.
The quote that we had discussed, at when we were ending the session last week, I don't remember the exact words, but it was like, unless something is done without personal motivation, it would not purify you. So this personal motive, like you were saying, nothing seems to be enough. I say I want peace, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Like this enchantment that, JTP talks about, this, it's amazing how you're pulled again and again and again. And even to realize उसमें अपनी भी वो दिखती है, when you are being dishonest. I'm saying I want this, and yet, the brain is kind of, calculating or what's in it for me, what's in it for me, even if it's minimal, till that seed is there of what's in it for me, it's, I think, very important that you don't get anything till that seed is there, because again, the whole journey fails. Sorry, just self-reflecting.
Yeah. Mother also shares in Huta Didi's letters that I don't go anywhere. You leave me. So just like you shared, that peace is what if I really want peace, then I have that. But I don't want only peace, I want something else. So we run away. We ourselves bargain our peace. And this is what, again, quoting Kabir ji, what he says that oh trader, he says, trader, make a nice trade, make a nice soda. And he talks about sacha soda, make a good bargain. Don't bargain your peace for so many things, trivia that you give out for again and again, even repeatedly having those experiences. And that's why I think Swami Vivekanand would have said that we are like dog's tail, because we really behave in such a manner. We don't have to. Once we have had enough experiences, we don't have to behave like a dog's tail. Yeah.
And knowing that my tendency, the slippery slope for me is to be a dog's tail, है ना? Otherwise,
Hmm.
I would say कि मैं कहाँ, I don't behave like a dog's tail, but that is what I am right now. And if I don't admit it, I'm just not seeing myself clearly. When you were talking about Sacha Sauda, even there's a very beautiful quote by Khalil Gibran na, that they deem me mad because I don't sell my days for gold. And I deem them mad because they think my days have a price or something like this, like how it's so much more precious than gold. And yet, gold, the dazzle it brings to my eyes in whatever form or factor.
Today I was just talking to somebody, and what came again for myself as a reminder uh, to continue is that whenever we are resting, I think Jasmine was earlier sharing, making use of these little moments. So mother says this: whenever you are resting, rest in a higher consciousness. I think this again is a very little simple tool that we can use, that whenever we have like empty time, it could be just maybe walking time, or I don't know, just sitting idle time, doing nothing time, relaxing from physical work, maybe. So, mother says that relax in higher consciousness. Now, simply said, relax in with your breath as we can, bringing the mind with the breath, knowing ourselves as awareness, we can relax there. Because when we are relaxing in our thoughts, that is relaxing in lower consciousness. So I feel that I have had my relaxation, but when I get up, I don't feel rejuvenated because the same drain was going on and on and on. So I think we can actually make use of these earlier talk on little moments, that whenever, even if I get 2 moments to myself, I tame the mind in those 2 moments. I bring the mind to breath and relax as spacious awareness. Thoughts may come, but I'm not giving any importance to thoughts in those 2 moments. And then we are as if taking a holy dip in the Ganges, as Kabir says that Ganga is also in you and Jamuna is also in you. So if I do like this, I'm actually dipping the mind in this rest, its source of awareness. And when the mind comes out of this dip, it's a better purified mind, again for some time. And then it again needs a dip, and again needs a dip, like that. Usually we are dipping ourselves in drain, in our stories and all that. So to avoid that dip in the drain.
It is very fascinating that what we call relaxation what we do to ourselves in the name of relaxation, especially in today's day and age when it's like you're spending 10 hours on a laptop or a screen opposite a screen because that's your work. And then relaxation doesn't mean a run, a jog, a walk, a cricket match, meeting friends, I don't know, but it just means, okay, now I'll watch Netflix or now I'll sit on YouTube. So everything is the same. You're sitting in the same posture, maybe even on the same chair or a couch. And again, it's just you're watching and it's not relaxation, it's numbing. And that's why, like you said, I think once I had also discussed with you, I went for a long walk and somehow it doesn't feel like I'm back and it didn't feel anything. And you said, then where were you lost, right? Like, were you with yourself when you went for the walk? And the answer was no. So it doesn't matter physically what I'm doing also. If I'm not there, even if I'm sitting, how they say, ke, even if I go on Kailash to meditate, if I am going the way I roll, what good it is, what good is it? But बस नाम का हो जाएगा कि देखो I'm sitting on a mountain to meditate. So very small जिसे कहते हैं ना सूक्ष्म points, but game changers, like life changers. I don't know, it's sounding like I'm throwing out something commercial. है ना ये जो बड़े बड़े words use करके, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think then it makes sense, like, mother says that you can be anywhere and be with me. So either I'm in a prison or not in Pondicherry or in a place which is seeming hell, but I am with the mother. So we are providing ourselves an atmosphere. And if that atmosphere is pure, like if we are immersed in mother, for example, or with the breath, with awareness, I think then it actually, the outer place doesn't matter at all. Then actually I lose enchantment for all that. The travel may happen, but then I don't need the travel in order to rejuvenate me, because I'm keeping myself in this rejuvenating atmosphere. And that's what matters. So I may miss my walk because of some reason, maybe something other to attend to, but then I would not say, oh my god, I had to go for my walk, because then again, as we were talking earlier, that we make a dependency that if I'm not walking, then I'm not all right. While if I'm in a good atmosphere I have created for myself and not lost in that drain of thoughts, then whether walking, not walking, we are in that pure atmosphere. And even after a walk, as you shared, even after a walk,
Yeah.
I can be in the drain, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am my own atmosphere, है ना?
Beautiful.
मतलब
Yeah. कल एक
it's
पोस्टर बनाते हैं,
हाँ ठीक है.
आई एम माई ओन एटमोस्फेयर, नीचे तरु जी.
I
So
was
it's
saying,
really really beautiful. Yeah.
a very beautiful story came to my mind. Nelson Mandela, after he was out of the jail, there's this thing that I think he visited US. I could be wrong, but there, I mean, after the jail, he was like this, and then all the reporters, with their mics on in his face, they were like, "What will you do next? Now, what do you want to do next?" Right? And he was like, I think I've been doing so much that all I want to do now is do nothing. And people were shocked, because see, Nelson Mandela has come to, I don't know, say America, and now let's see what he has to say. And what he said was, I want to do nothing. I want time to do nothing. So this is what shocks people, right? Because this is not a language we understand, but potential and jala dunga and I'll do this and that. That's what we basically go for. But yeah, it was so beautiful. And just because you were sharing something on the same thing, it
Yeah.
felt
Yeah, I think this was really नेल्सन मंडेला स्टोरी, जो उसमें मूवी में भी शेयर की थी, मिशन जॉय में भी it was shared a bit. Desmond Tutu was sharing. It was really amazing, very inspirational, that before going to the prison he was like, very full of arms, ammunition, violence, aggression, although for a right cause, but yet with all the violent means. And after spending so many 25 years, I think, in prison,
Yeah.
like completely a transformed person. Like his being would be an inspiration, his presence would be an inspiration. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that you don't need to be in prison to get to that point. Can you hear me?
I was going to say,
Okay.
let us all go to prison. Jasmine, change कर दिया आपने game.
Yeah, this just reminded me of recently, about a week ago, I had this moment, uh, just something day to day, something wasn't changing. Again, the usual story hoti hai, something like that. But something in that moment very deeply hit me. It was like I was so present with whatever that was going on. It hit me कि अगर मैंने बिल्कुल ऐसे जैसे outer circumstances है ना right now, doesn't matter, physical, emotional, family, जो भी outer story, but just exactly everything is gonna stay same और मैंने ऐसे ही मर जाना है. That moment hit me. I hope it makes sense. If I'm making sense, I'll go further. But the moment was so beautiful. And मैंने अपनी exit miss कर दी. So it was so nice to, I don't know, in that moment, if मर जाना है तो फिर nothing I can change. So no, it's like something within me, free. Taru Hasle. He was thinking of. I just felt कि पता नहीं something within me got free. कि जैसे एक तरह थप्पड़ ही पड़ा कि कुछ change नहीं होने वाला. All your excuses, it's like तुम्हें खुद ही दिख गया कि now you turn towards yourself. It is what it is. But I know, at a deeper level, जहाँ पे maybe you're in that victim conscious, रोना, again, anything, whatever. But I felt so present in that, so present and free in that moment. And trying to relive it, bring that moment back again. But the whole thing made me realize, the same thing about jail. There's nowhere to run, nothing to change. And same thing as that Viktor Frankl story. You probably are familiar with him. He was in the Jewish camp. To think that you really have no choice, not even your physical control, whether you're going to die next moment or not. This moment is all you have. So in that sense, I was just wanted to say, jail जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं.
Yeah, yeah.
Jail तो हमारे अंदर, jail तो हमने खुद ही बनाया हुआ
बिल्कुल
है, in the
बिल्कुल,
sense
हाँ.
that,
Caged enough.
but I just but that moment was so freeing and beautiful. And when you touch that, even though like you might come back to the same usual, but at least touching that, tasting that, what you're working toward, at least it
Yeah.
keeps you.
I think parallelly we also have to realize that what you shared, that he said that I don't want to do nothing, I don't want to do anything. I think parallelly we can't ignore that 25 years was his sadhana. So we
So
just
true.
can't say that there is, nothing to do. I can just
Nothing
be,
to do.
yeah. So 25 years of, 27 years, thank you. 27 years of sadhana inner work is going on. So one day, just out of the blue, I can't announce that, oh, there is nothing to do. So I don't have to change anything in myself. He did a lot of tapasya, which can be unseen by that word. So, yeah.
No, and also like we, sometimes think it kar nahi rahe hain, but I know it sounds
आवाज नहीं आ रही, जैस्मिन.
Yeah, I think there is no signal here. Sorry.
अच्छा, कहाँ, बाथरूम में क्या?
She's on the highway. She said freeway. She
Oh,
her exit. That's why I
okay,
did.
okay.
Now, one thing I find very interesting is that the reason that one is put in a jail physically is to break down people's spirit, right? To kind of give them that level of isolation. And plus, say Sri Aurobindo and Mr. Mandela, I mean, they're all isolated cells, right? Like in which probably there's even days without sunlight, right? Months, weeks. So that, and even Sri Aurobindo has mentioned it very beautifully in his prison life book, that the mind starts playing a havoc on you, right? Like unless you stop, unless you say no, I don't want to go there, there's a very big chance for you to go crazy. With sitting with yourself day in and day out, no sunlight, no outing, no talking, just you. It feels ke, I don't know, koi quote tha, I'm not be able to recall कि, throw me everywhere and I'll thrive. And like, again, Thai says that, the lotus is divine and so is the mud, right? From which the divine comes. So I'm just so amazing that you throw me in mud and I come out as a lotus. So again, we are more than our circumstances. I am more than my circumstances. That thing, that not thing, this truth is evident e- only if I just am willing to look that that's true, because उसमें मजा नहीं है ना, मतलब अरे circumstances वाला ही factor हटा दिया तो life बहुत different हो जाती है, right? Then I'll actually have to be more accountable and
या
difficult.
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थोड़ी ज्यादा
Yeah.
हो जाती है फिर दूसरों को ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते व्हेन आई
Right.
आई said that I'm more than my circumstances. Yeah, true, true. Yeah, I think again coming back to what you said, that accountability ज़्यादा हो जाती है. So what Krishnamurti says that with freedom comes the responsibility, and we just want freedom but not the responsibility. But that doesn't work, and that's why rules have to be made. So if I really want to live like a free spirit, that onus, that accountability, that responsibility, I have to own for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know it was Krishnamurti, because I heard it from Peter Parker's uncle in Superman that with freedom comes great responsibility.
Oh, okay.
How they pick up things from somewhere and put it, and how much it stays with you,
Yeah.
because the root is so beautiful. Like that's the only thing I would say I would remember from the movie I saw, I don't know how many years back. With freedom comes great responsibility, and now I know its source. uh yes, Jasmine, were you sharing something?
I don't know, something stupid or profound, but I think even my eye is bigger than my eye. Even I am bigger than my eye. The real eye is bigger than the eye. The small eye. I don't know, it just came to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just something hit me in a different way. Maybe it just doesn't sound that. But I am bigger than the I that I keep. I वो जो दूसरी, egoistic I. जो I में तो I हूँ. But I don't know. When you guys were talking something.
Yeah, beautiful. एक पोयम लिख दो आए और आए पे जैस्मिन जब उतरोगे गाड़ी से think about it.
Good, you
Yeah.
told her, otherwise she would have started writing while she was driving. She's very capable of that. So, Vishali, you've joined quite late. Would you want to share something? Do you have anything to share in the circle today? Any reflections or any passage that you might have read, any book? Okay, so probably you are not able to unmute. That's all right. So, yeah, any last thoughts, any reflections before we end the session? That's it. Okay, then. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Take care. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.